Thank you for joining us. I'm Courtney Cole with the WBZ News Update and a look at our top stories. Boston police are investigating a deadly crash involving a pedestrian. This was at Melnia Cass Boulevard and Hampden Street. This happened just after 4:30 this morning. Police shut down several lanes, including the Mass Avenue connector. Now you can see when this happened, it was a pretty active scene. The scene has since cleared, but right now it's still unclear what led up to the crash. Boston dropping its plans to move the O'Brien Exam School from Roxbury to West Roxbury. Families learned about the decision in an email from Mayor Michelle Wu and School Superintendent Mary Skipper. The proposal was announced in June as part of an effort to overhaul Boston's high school system. But families argued moving the school would make it less accessible to communities of color and harder to access by public transit. Utility companies say they are ready for tonight's storm. National Grid says extra crews are in place, prepared to respond to any outages or downed wires. And Eversource says it's also monitoring conditions closely. Both companies say if strong winds knock out power, to contact your provider. And right now we are under a next weather alert. Today's weather will bring strong winds to our area, which could cause some problems for commuters going into the evening. Let's get a check of our next weather forecast with meteorologist Jason Michael.
A next weather alert. Yes, indeed, Courtney. That's what we're dealing with here. We haven't seen one in quite some time, and certainly not one to this magnitude. We're now beginning to move into the territory where it seems to be the spring-like conditions are coming in fast and furious. What's happening right now, we're really targeting a cold front moving into southern New England overnight tonight through the early hours for us on Thursday, with significant gusts to be expected, along with scattered damages and even some power outages. Let's widen up the scan. Okay, record warmth in the east. Look at that warm, moist air draped all the way along the Atlantic seaboard. The sort of nexus of this area of low pressure is still in southern Canada, but the dry and more stabilizing air is swinging through the nation's heartland right now, coming into the Midwest. Our record watch, okay, today 54 degrees. Not expected to make it there, I don't believe, but if we do push past that, that could likely happen. As you can see there, 52 degrees. That is the high expectancy today as far as Worcester is concerned. 59 is the record. 63 again for Boston. Now, in terms of our peak wind gusts today, it's been a very gusty day across southern New England. Almost 50-mile-per-hour gusts in Plymouth, New Bedford 48 along with Mashpee, Dennis, and even Buzzards Bay about 45 to 46-mile-per-hour gusts. Rainfall accumulation since late last night, 1 to 1.5, even getting up to nearly 2 inches in some areas. So we're still not done. More of the isolated showers to be expected across the course of our afternoon. Well, let's push forward here, okay, and talk about the current temperatures. Very cold, very dry back over towards the high plains and even western Midwest. Once we look at the Atlantic seaboard, so some of the 50s and 60s we have outside right now are really all due because of the warm, moist air coming in from the south. We're also going to have some scattered rain showers, likely causing a bit of issues, some ponding on the roadways, mainly along the Cape and even the islands, all because we've had some pretty steady light rain there all throughout the course of the morning. Into the afternoon we go in terms of that scattered rain becoming even more pronounced into the evening hours. 7 p.m., 8 p.m., we're now beginning to see the onset of this cold front draped across the area. So some of the heavy rain, light to moderate, perhaps even moderate to heavy at times, quickly changes over to some of the colder weather, and I think we'll likely even see some flakes coming out of this thing by the time it's all said and done. 11 p.m. midnight, there's the frontal boundary pushing into Boston, exiting Boston roughly around 2 a.m. Look at that. It's remarkably clear after the cold front passes, and that's exactly where the temperatures are going to be dropping throughout the morning. By sunrise, again, feeling like the single digits and even upper teens with scattered clouds throughout the course of the afternoon on Wednesday. So we're not going to be done with the wind gusts until Thursday evening into the overnight. But by Friday, we begin very chilly upper teens to low 20s. Sun, few clouds, southwest winds 10 to 15. And that will help to push our temperatures back into the mild sector around 50 in the daytime. And though we remain mild through the weekend and early next week, the first few days of March will be a bit more cloudy and also with some chance rain. Courtney?
Jason, thank you. I'm Courtney Cole, and this has been a WBZ News Update.